IrisVision Global coming to you live. This is James, a coach, and I'm missing my partner right now, my co-host slash my boss, Myrna. Just want to give a shout out. She'll be back with us soon. And today I'm going to go over some lighting tips. I was testing with the Inspire and using the Inspire in just daily use, and I was zeroing in on my TV, as you all know. We like to watch TV with it. And I noticed something. I was bringing the lighting up and down, the exposure, and it looked good, but I was like, I can get this better. I know I can. And then I took the glasses off and I was watching TV without it. And then I remembered when my low vision, before I had a device and my low vision started, my central vision loss, I turned up the TV, the lighting on the TV. I cranked it up, and the backlight, I cranked it down a little. Just made some adjustments so I could see it better. Not a great picture, but I could see it better. And so as I was using the Inspire, I was like, whoa, what would happen if I adjusted the lighting on my TV, the brightness slash the backlighting? So I started playing with it, adjusting the lighting, because with the Inspire, you can adjust the exposure, as you all know, in TV mode. Okay, and it'll bring it down, lowest exposure, darker, brightest exposure will be a lot lighter. And it does do a lot to increase or decrease the exposure, the LED light off the TV. But when I adjusted my TV in the back and tried it again, I was amazed at the picture I got. So I just want to put a big tip out there on lighting off of the TV, the backlight slash the brightness. If you're like me and adjusted it in the first place without a device and kicked it up like I did, my poor kids watching that bright TV. But it did help. It helped tremendously. And so I started in my living room, adjusted the brightness there and the backlight, turned it down because the exposure in the Inspire, or even the Live, whichever one you're using, you can adjust the exposure. But I was using the Inspire, and it came out to be a better picture. I had more control over the exposure by dimming the picture off of that TV. The brightness helped. And then I went to my bedroom and did the same thing. And I was real happy with the picture I got. I mean, I got a way better picture, and it just dawned on me as I took the glasses off, like, why is it so bright? But in the goggles, I wasn't seeing, and the Inspire glasses, I wasn't seeing that much of a change. I mean, it did dim it, it did brighten it, but I'm greedy. I wanted a better picture. So I started doing that, found out it worked better with my TV, and then I went to my computer monitor, did the same thing, and it really helped. So today I just wanted to talk to you guys about maybe dimming. I don't know if you guys adjusted it like I did. A couple clients I talked to as I was coaching them, they adjusted their TV and told me they got good results. So just a tip to throw out there. Another thing is on your cell phone, if you guys still use cell phones, which I know you do, turning up the brightness and turning it down, having control, you're gonna have to adjust it during the day. When you're using the device, there's no need. You can set it on one of the settings. It's not going to be too bright because you can adjust it with the headset, right? So your cell phone can, if you're looking at your cell phone or tablet like I do every once in a while. So always remember that that's important. Increase in the brightness, okay? Another thing, when I was looking around the room, doing some testing with the Inspire and just relaxing, using it, I remembered I cranked up my lighting. I actually went and got brighter lights, for my house. And that's not always the best thing. I was watching Sam on the Blind Life, and he went over the Stella lighting, which I have, and he's right. That's probably one of the best lighting you can get. There's other comparable, I just don't know the names, but I'm saying Stella because those are the ones that I use. You can put it on the incandescent. The yellow I found works better. As I'm looking through the house and walking around, and then I put on the Inspire and look around, zooming in, zooming out. I don't want to tell my clients do this, do that if it doesn't work. So I'm always testing with the device myself. And I noticed my lighting. I remembered I went and bought the brightest LED, blue light, whatever it was, just the brightest, probably cheapest on sale too, and put them in my house so I could see. Because as you know, with central vision loss, not everybody has central vision loss, but with central vision loss, we need a lot of light. Okay, we need a whole lot of light, but not directly in our eyes. That hurts. I always tell sighted people, it's like going in the snow. If you have snow, going in the snow on a bright day without sunglasses, that's how bright light affects us. Does it hurt? A little bit, but it's more uncomfortable, right? Too bright. You want to close your eyes or look away. And that's what too much light, as I'm coaching, and if a sighted person's helping, I try to put it to, let's make sure there's no lighting in the background. The device will dim and come back. But besides that, you will get a good picture with or without the glasses. So I remembered I changed all my lighting, went and bought lighting. So I went back to the store, bought some lighting, and they're fairly inexpensive. The new LEDs that are, day, whatever they're called, soft white light or soft incandescent light. I like the incandescent feature. They're not incandescent lights, but they give that glow, that yellow glow that I'm used to. Okay, so I went and got those and put some in, and I adjusted it to where my Stella light, I get a good, bright, nice, clear color off my Stella light. But the Stella, the arm bends down, so it's not directly, it goes over my material. Well, around my house, how am I going to do that? Well, I listened to Sam, and he said, you want a lot of your lighting, but not in view. So it's kind of indirect lighting, such as the Stella lamp. So in my, what are they called? So in my regular ceiling fan lights, and then my ceiling lights, my can lights, that's what they're called. I went and changed those, and I could see a lot better with the device too. It's not as bright picking up on the device. Even though you can dim it, you still want to keep in mind, you're looking through the device and without the device. If you're just sitting there eating dinner or something like that, bright light hurts. So as I was going through changing the lighting, it made a whole, I would sit down, look at it with the device, without the device. I got better results with the device. Not saying you have to go change your lighting, but keep that in mind. Keep the direct lighting. Sometimes you may have to shut a blind or something like that. Unfortunately, we do have a eye disability. We'll never see clearly again, like me and a lot of us totally want, right? We want to see perfect again, if you saw perfect at one time. And if you didn't, those hopes are probably gone. But with the device, I went and tested. I think I'm 2,200 in both eyes, legally blind. I tested with the device, and I actually hit 20/30. My eye doctor was like, wow, I need one of those. I need to start showing. I was like, sure, here's a number of IrisVision. Call and tell them you want a demo device. So it was great. You still, even though you got the device, you want to make it easier for yourself. You want to make it a lot easier when you look around, and I'm not saying you have to go and buy all this lighting like I did. I didn't buy lighting. I just bought light bulbs. Think of it that way. Bought a pack of, now they got so many different features. You just want something like the soft light, but try it out. You'll be amazed the difference that it makes with the device and without the device. Okay. You don't have to buy new lighting, just that. Or you can start, as I go to my friend's house or my family's house, I notice they have lamps on, with the shade, but it's still emitting a lot. If you have lamps in your house, maybe you can get a different shade. Just think of anything that'll help your eyesight. We got to protect our eyesight. We don't want to be uncomfortable. So anything, just wanted to throw that out there. Okay. Adjusting your TV. When I brought the brightness down on the TV to a central, then I was able to increase or decrease the exposure, and I got a way better picture. So I was really happy about that. I said, I know exactly what I'm going to tell Mel when we're going to do the coach's corner. I want to share what I found. And same thing with you guys. We would love to hear anything you guys have to say. We love getting feedback. We really do. It helps us. We listen as coaches. I know the engineering team, they listen, support, get your feedback. Zaria's team does great, getting all the information. Okay. And then Prescott, Farhad are always plugging away, taking that feedback and running with it. We want to make a great device, just like we already have, but we want to make it better for the users like you, and especially me. So give them more feedback. So it'd be better on my head so I can see better, even though it's a pretty good picture right now. Now that I adjusted the lighting and all, I'm a lot happier. I can watch my football games and so forth. So please let us know. Feel free to email on Facebook Live right here, global. Put some info, share. Peer groups are always good, sharing. And I highly suggest you get in a peer group. That really helped me. I had Wednesday was a very tough day for me. I went and saw my buddy, Dr. Grandella, over at Viewfinder for my yearly license. Okay, I still have my drive. I know you guys are saying, wow, he still drives 2,200. I still have a license. That doesn't mean I still drive, but I'm legally able to drive. I know my limits. I don't drive the freeways, but every year I have to go see a low vision specialist for my bioptic. I went and I got some bad news. For the first time, I failed. And I knew it was coming. My eyesight dropped a little, so it's kind of depressing, but I kind of limit my driving, anyway. So it wasn't that big of a blow. He is going to let me retest. I'm going to go and have some stuff done, check with my retina doctor, make sure, maybe cataracts or something like that. And then I'll take another test. I'm to the point now, as I'm sure all of you have been through. I've talked to clients and they say that's the hardest thing, if you had a license and given it up, you know, it is. Wednesday was a real tough day for me after, driving home, coming home. And I really thought about it like it's just a piece of plastic in my head. But yeah, I don't know. It's something that you can show that you still have. I'm still legally able to drive, and then I thought about it. I was like, I don't really drive that much anyway. Plus the stress I went through when I did drive, am I sure there's not a car? And looking through the bioptic, it does help, but there's a time that comes, as we all know, when it kind of goes down, and got to be safe. If I hurt myself, that's one thing, but if I hurt somebody else, that would be a whole different thing. So Wednesday was pretty tough. I had to have my alone time for a little bit, but then I was okay. I realized I'm still blessed. I still got a driver. I can still get around. I live within walking distance. I still got my IrisVision, so I can view things. I still, it doesn't give you any sight you didn't have, but it enhances what you do have, and it does help. Looking at things, my kids' faces, and just a great, still totally look at all the positive I have besides that license. And I know I've talked to clients and they've reassured me before, like, well, when you do lose it, it's kind of a better thing and stuff like that. So I think of it less stressful. I'll try again. Dr. Grandella is going to give me another shot and we'll go from there. Shout out to Grandella. Thank you for all your help and for all the help that, he does for everybody in the low vision community. So again, I just wanted to throw that out there. Adjust your lighting, check your lighting. You want to make your eyes, do everything you can to get a better view. So this is James with IrisVision, Coach's Corner. Sorry if I went on and on. I just like talking to you all. And I will talk to you again soon. Take care. And if you guys put your comments in the IrisVision Global right here on Facebook or email us, we're always looking for feedback. So again, thank you. We'll talk to you guys later.